Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's RJames back for another video on how to improve your Fakemon trainer designs. Basically, my last video was uploaded 9 months ago, so I guess I owe you guys another apology. It's always taking me this long to upload, but you can't really blame me because I've been very busy with work, and also I've been very busy with my Fakemon region, Pokemon Jade Dynasty, which personally, I believe, basing it on all of my Fakemon regions, has the best art style of all the regions I created, so I suggest that you go check it out right now. If you haven't seen it yet, just go to my Instagram and play along. From my 4 previous videos, we talked about hair, we talked about face, eyes, coloring, line art, conceptualizing, everything. On this video, we'll be talking about clothes. From shirts, to shorts, to dresses, to gowns, to jackets, to everything, to even shoes and hats. This is now our part 5, so sit back, relax, and let's learn new stuff. In the Pokemon world, clothing is actually very important because it's that one thing that brings personality and brings out the character of that specific trainer. Normally, clothing is always representative of that trainer's type specialty. While not always being applied, it has always been the go-to ever since Generation 1. Which brings me to my number 1 ick. This is not the tutorial yet, but this is actually my number 1 ick. As you may know, I've designed hundreds or even thousands now, I think. From my own trainers to all of my clients, I think I've already reached a milestone of 1,000 trainers that I designed. And the one thing that always bothers me is how these artists or these Fakemon creators are not stepping outside of their box when designing their Fakemon trainers. And what do I mean by this? Let's say you're thinking about creating a grass type trainer. Let me guess. A farmer, a florist, a ranger, a gardener. Let's say you want a water type trainer. A swimmer, a fisherman, a sailor, they're all the same. You want a rock or ground type, a miner, an excavator, or even better, you want to create a evil trainer, probably a big boss, a rich tycoon. They're wearing tuxedo. Now, let me tell you this, it is tired, it has been done, many artists already did it, and it's just like, it's difficult to differentiate your region from the other if your trainers just look alike. Specifically their clothing. As an artist, I do want to encourage everyone to really bring out their creativity more, be original. I know at this day and age, it's really difficult for us to be original, but just still try, I guess. Now that that's out of the way, let's actually start with the tutorial. Chapter 1. Shirts. Wearing shirts is actually the most basic thing a trainer could wear, and I don't mean that in a very shady way. What I mean is it's just a very safe option. If you want to improve drawing shirt, then you only need 2 things. Size and fit. Let's bring out our model and draw a shirt. What I would like to emphasize on this is the jutting of the sleeves like this. This gives more dimension to your drawings and make it less flat. The neckline is also very important. There are many variations of a shirt neckline but for your simple trainers, I would suggest going for a crew neck or a V-neck. You can then add designs or prints on the shirts of whatever you want. Next one is pants. Now, pants. Where do I even begin? In my opinion, pants is actually one of the most defining factor on what makes a trainer the Pokemon style. Do you know what I mean? On your screen are what I consider iconic Pokemon pants style. They always have this unconventional alternating folds. You probably didn't notice this when you were younger, but as we improve, you actually start to notice this. If you can master this folding technique, then congratulations, you actually know how to draw pants a la Pokemon style. Now it's very easy, just follow along on this one. Other than that, there are still many ways you can draw pants. If it's a dress pants or slacks, then no need to add the folds, but please do include a continuous line in the middle. If it's leggings that you want, then you've chosen the safest route, because drawing leggings is just coloring a leg. No other details involved, just color the legs as it is. Next is dresses or gowns. For drawing dresses or gowns, the 2 key points I want to share is length and volume. Just go big if you want a ball gown. It's very obvious for artists to spot if the volume or length is a bit awkward. Do you want to hide the feet or not? If you want emphasis on the shoes, then don't hide them. If you're lazy to draw feet or shoes, then just hide them. Here's a fun trick I want to share. If you want your gowns to look less boring or flat, I always suggest adding in some ruffles. Ruffles just make things grander and more alive. Just be mindful on how you place them. This is the simplest way to draw ruffles. Just draw soft zigzag lines and add small stroke of lines between them. You can also add bows or sashes to even elevate the look. After that, we have jackets and coats. The thing that you need to pay attention when drawing jackets and coats are actually two things: the jutting on the shoulders and the collar placement. You also want to add pockets to add more definition to your character. For Pokemon professors, they are actually known for wearing lab coats. You can add subtle details on your coat to give them more personality. Like how Professor Sada has fur on her coat, while Professor Turo have metallic diamond buckles on his. The next thing we're going to talk about are shoes. For me, shoes are actually that one thing that a lot of artists struggle to draw. I myself don't struggle with it. And that's just based on my observation when going through Instagram and I'm seeing all of these artists drawing shoes. It's just like the whole trainer is good, but when it comes to the shoes, it's just like, ugh. I, for one, is actually a big fan of drawing shoes. I love fashion, so basically I love drawing shoes. You know, from sneakers to stilettos to sandals to boots to whatever unconventional material you want to put on your feet. What I believe is the catalyst as to why a lot of artists struggle is the shape of the foot. Since many official artworks out there are on 3/4, meaning one foot is facing sideways while the other is facing front. What I would suggest that you need to practice more is drawing this teardrop shape. What I would suggest you practice more is how to draw the foot facing front. Draw a deformed teardrop. That's your best guide on drawing foot facing front. And after that, you can just add the shoe details. Next thing I want to talk about are hats and headgears. Hats are abundant in the Pokemon world. They're everywhere. From trainer protagonists to gym leaders to Elite Four to important characters to even evil teams. They're everywhere. You can just look up an inspiration and draw it. This, for me, I think is the easiest when drawing Pokemon clothing. So don't stress so much about it and just practice by using references. If you guys already know my style, one of my favorite things when drawing hats are actually big ones. You know, just go big or go home. I like brim hats, I like exaggerated hats. It just makes your character less boring. Finally, props or ornaments. Finally, props and ornaments. This can go a long way depending on how extravagant you want your trainers to look. From jewelries, to gloves, to umbrella, to instruments, bags, the choices are just endless. This can actually bring out the personality of your trainers. I know a lot of artists struggle when they're drawing hands. That's why most of them tend to draw them behind their back. It's like all of their trainers have their hands like this, and I know that for sure because I've seen a lot of artists out there who really struggle with drawing hands and they just put it behind. However, if you're confident enough to draw hands, you know, it's also difficult for you to make gestures or poses for your hands. What I suggest is actually make them hold something, props. You know what I was saying, like a bag or a basket or an umbrella or whatever you can think of. There's like a whole plethora of choices that you can have. That way you're giving your trainer a lot more personality, a lot more character. Instead of their hands just doing this or that, you know, they have something to do with their hands. And there we have it! These are just some of my tips and tricks when drawing clothes in Pokemon style. I'm sure there's a lot more that needed to be discussed, you know, more technical ways, more deep dive into such details. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's your idea, it's your design. I'm just here to share my thoughts and my experiences because I really want to help you guys improve because your Fakemon are already great. You know, your Fakemon creatures, they're already great. But when it comes to trainers, that's where you struggle. And that's just coming based on my observation. Don't take it as a shady compliment. So yeah, I'm just here to give you guys some pointers. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and I hope you learned a lot from it. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Once again, it's RJ signing off. Bye bye!